here we are with the dialogue part of this unit. Unit 8, Dialogue Vocabulary. And you know that in the vocabulary from the dialogue, we have many words. All the words that I'm going to show you have the O sound. So let's go ahead and see the easy words. You know the meanings. Just try to now remember and learn that they have the sound O. The first one, how would you say this? Tell me. O, O, soft, soft. These words come from the dialogue. You will hear them in the dialogue. So I am asking you to not open your books. Don't look at your books. Try to pronounce them with me correctly, and at the same time, think about what this dialogue is going to be about. Right? So try to predict things in your mind about the things that we are going to hear in the dialogue based on these words that we are going to try pronouncing. Hot, long, strong. Please pause and repeat after me, okay? Strong, popular, popular. We have the sound here. Horrible, wants, what, wrong, socks, job, got, often, sorry, washing, washing. Mrs. Bloggs. This is her surname, Bloggs. So she is Mrs. Bloggs. And it's one of the characters in this dialogue. So, what do you think? Do you have any ideas about how it's going to be, what we're going to hear about? The topic? Did you hear that? The topic of this dialogue. Again, O sound. So think about that and try to just relate the words and make sentences together, make sentences with them. Like think about the adjectives, the nouns, and put them together, like long socks, for example, or Mrs. Bloggs often wants horrible jobs. I don't know. Try to think about many options. You hear that? Option or options. We have many words with this sound, and we are learning them. This is very good. This is very good. We are making progress. And as you have seen, the sun is coming up higher and higher, and we are learning more and more in each part. I have questions before we listen to the dialogue. Take your time, try to predict what you think about the dialogue. You can pause and do that, and then continue and see my question. You don't need your books. So books closed, we're going to see what we need to listen for when we listen to the audio recording. It's very important to go step by step. You don't have these questions in your books, so I don't want you to see any pictures or any titles. Just think about the words and your predictions. And now here we are with questions. So books closed. What are we listening to? What is that? It's the conversation among friends. A job interview. A doctor talking to her or his patient. Or a TV advertisement. So this is what we are going to do. Listen and only choose one of these options. So while you are listening, try to take notes of everything that you think is related to one of these choices. You know, for example, you have many words and sentences helping you, guiding you to, select one of these options. For example, a job interview. And you need to write why you think it's a job interview. Is it some kind of questions that the people talk about? Or they speak to each other very formally? They how they start the conversation, or what words that for example, describe a job. Write them down. Write anything that helps you see one of these answers as correct. So now let's get ready, have paper and pen or pencil, and be ready to write as you listen.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of On-Wash, Mrs. Bloggs.
On-Wash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with On-Wash.
It's not a long job with On-Wash.
Use On-Wash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got On-Wash.
Everybody wants On-Wash.
On-Wash is so popular.
Okay, how was it? It doesn't have to be easy. It is very natural if we want to listen again. So, that's my suggestion. Please listen again and again if you want. And if you're ready, we can continue. But remember, give yourselves this opportunity to listen to recording several times. It improves your listening skills little by little. Okay, what do you think? The answer? A, B, C, D. This is the correct answer. What are your reasons for choosing this? Or maybe you chose something else. Maybe you said A. Well, it was not a job interview because there were no questions or answers. Someone was washing something and she was just tired of doing that. And so it's not a job interview. And also, she was not talking to her doctor. I mean, did you listen to someone saying about, a kind of pain you have, for example, in your hands, or maybe washing a lot and having some kind of skin problem? No, we didn't hear that. We had many suggestions, and they were from different people. If we are talking to a doctor, only a doctor talks. And here, different people were trying to say how good something was for her to use when she wants to wash. They just said many good things about something, and it showed that they were people in a TV advertisement. And of course, they're not friends because it was not like they were giving their own personal suggestions and opinions. It was like there was a product and people were trying to sell something, right? This information is enough for us to answer this general question. We don't have to understand everything, okay? Now we are going to listen for another reason and understand even more. I will take notes with you, so at the end we can you can see both my notes and yours and see how we understood the meaning of onwash. Let's listen. Remember, you can listen, but when you listen now, don't pause. Try to take notes and listen. Just let it play for you. When it finishes, you start again and you play it again. And now, when you want to take notes, you want to complete your notes, you can pause whenever you want. And at the end, you can just take a look at my notes and see how different they are from yours.
3B. TV advertisement for OnWash.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of OnWash, Mrs. Bloggs.
OnWash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with OnWash.
It's not a long job with OnWash.
Use OnWash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got OnWash.
Everybody wants OnWash.
OnWash is so popular.
Very good. So now let's see what I have written. She said she was tired of the job of washing socks. Actually, a horrible job of washing socks. So it means that it was something difficult for her. And OnWash, and the man said with a bottle of OnWash. So in this bottle there is something that can help this horrible job easier. And a woman said that it's soft and strong. So something that cleans clothes, fabrics, and it makes them softer and stronger. So it's something for washing clothes. And another thing that relates to OnWash is that it doesn't need lots of hot water. If you use this thing, you won't need that much water, which means that this thing is for washing. Someone says that you won't be sorry. Sorry? No, you won't be sorry, because it's gonna do a good job. And as you can see in my notes, I don't use complete sentences. Even for a word that said and, I used a plus. And here, I didn't write the word unwash. A bottle of, and I just use an arrow to show that it's unwash. And lots of hot water. You don't need that. The sentence was that. And I just drew a line on that. And then, sorry, no, you won't be. So I have these things in my mind. The complete sentences will come to my mind when I want to talk about my answers. I can listen again and again and write complete sentences. That is fine. You can do that. I can do that too. But we want to go to the next part and then, be quick. So the next question is, in your opinion, which one of the speakers has a great sentence for an effective ad? Many people said many things about onwash and they want to, sell it to other people. So they need to have effective sentences talking about this. Which speaker, in your opinion, has a great sentence for an ad and it makes you want to buy onwash? Find that speaker. While listening, you can pause and write the sentence of that speaker that you like. Okay? Let's do that.
3B. TV advertisement for onwash.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of onwash, Mrs. Bloggs.
Onwash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with onwash.
It's not a long job with onwash.
Use onwash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got onwash.
Everybody wants onwash.
Onwash is so popular.
So now we can see the text of the audio, and you have this in your books. You can see in the picture that onwash helps you wash your clothes, and it has many, many benefits. So we have this conversation that you have listened to a lot, and in this box in here, we have words that can fit these blanks. So complete it. I'm going to give you time, so you fill in the blanks before we listen and check, okay? So you have 1 minute to fill in the blanks before we listen and check, okay? This is your timer. When it finishes, your time is over. Go on. Let's begin. Well done. Are you ready to listen? Let's listen and check.
3B. TV advertisement for On-Wash.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of On-Wash, Mrs. Bloggs.
On-wash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with on-wash.
It's not a long job with On-Wash.
Use On-Wash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got on-wash.
Everybody wants on-wash.
On-Wash is so popular.
Very good. Now let's see. This is a very, very important part of this. Let's underline all the O sounds. Now you have 2 minutes to go line by line and look at all the words, trying to pronounce them and see if you can find all of them and highlight them. Okay? Now, why don't we start and highlight or underline all these sounds in our books in 2 minutes? Go on. Time is over. So, I want you to think about this option as well. You read the sentences yourselves. You try to remember if this or that word has a sound or not. How about playing the audio recording and pause whenever you think you found the sound? You know what I mean? I mean, play the audio and read at the same time, and pause and try to think about how the speaker said the sentence or a word. And then, if you think it has an or sound in it, you underline it. This makes it easier. You can go ahead, start and do that now, or you can check your answers. I'm going to show you. I underlined actually. We want to listen and see the underlined sounds.
3B. TV advertisement for on-wash.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of on-wash, Mrs. Bloggs.
On-wash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with on-wash.
It's not a long job with on-wash.
Use on-wash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got on-wash.
Everybody wants on-wash.
On-wash is so popular.
Okay, well done. Now you have all the words highlighted for you in front of you, and it's time to listen, pause, and repeat. Repeat a word, repeat a phrase, or a sentence, whatever you like or need. So you pause after them and try to think of the sounds and repeat correctly. And you can do this again and again and rewind. You can listen again, start over, and just repeat many parts that you think are difficult. Try to be a copycat. Imagine you just need to say everything exactly the same as the speaker. Whatever they say, however they say, change your voice. Maybe when you change your voice, naturally you speak more like them. For example, if you speak more manly and you lower your voice, you speak like a man, you say that sentence and their pronunciation better because you think you're them, you're like them. And then your pronunciation becomes more and more better.
3B. TV advertisement for on-wash.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of on-wash, Mrs. Bloggs.
On-wash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with on-wash.
It's not a long job with on-wash.
Use on-wash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got on-wash.
Everybody wants on-wash.
On-wash is so popular.
Good job. Now let's do the second very important thing. Shadow with the audio. You know how to shadow, right? And this is not going to be perfect for the first time, for the second time, for the third time. You need to do that again and again. It's going to become perfect at some point. So what do? The speaker starts speaking, you start speaking and reading, okay? The text is in front of you. You read and speak with the speakers, like your voice goes over their voices. It's like two people are speaking at the same time, you and the speaker on the audio. So be patient. This can and should be done several times. So do this carefully. And when you feel ready, we continue.
3B. TV advertisement for on-wash.
What's wrong with you, Mrs. Bloggs?
What's wrong with me? I want a holiday from this horrible job of washing socks.
Buy a bottle of on-wash, Mrs. Bloggs.
On-wash is so soft and strong.
You don't want lots of hot water with on-wash.
It's not a long job with on-wash.
Use on-wash often.
You won't be sorry when you've got on-wash.
Everybody wants on-wash.
On-wash is so popular.
I know you know the rules. Dialogue, record, and compare. So you have read, you have repeated, listened, read, and repeated after each word, sentence, or phrase. And then you practiced shadowing. And this shadowing can repeat itself. This repeating can repeat itself. These things make you feel ready. So you won't need your book, or maybe you don't need to look at that page very much. Then this means that you're ready. So, are you ready? If you feel ready, your job is to record your voice. This is the thing you need to do right now. And after it, we have the audio recording of this lesson, of that part of this dialogue, and yours, your voice. You need to compare them and you look for very different parts. I don't know about the sound, the music of the voice. Maybe you used a very different intonation or you stressed wrong words and the sound was wrong and you want to improve it. You compare those two audio files and then you fix them and you speak. You produce the corrected ones. If you don't correct yourselves, you won't improve. So please, take this seriously and do the task. See you in the next part.